spent pretty much all of your career inside of HR. Was there ever a point where you wanted to do something different?
There has not been actually. So I intentionally went into HR. I was working in a small organization. Somebody left and I got an HR duty. I did it and I loved it so much. I think being able to grant people grace and move on from the moment, that was a huge lesson for me, that I actually have a lot of power in how a conversation goes, how a situation goes, how the ending to something goes. I have a lot of power in that. Starts with our department. We're example setting. We show people what the behavior should be. We have it first. I want to continue to inspire and impact leaders. I want to build the new generation of leader.
If your life was a Lifetime movie, what would the name of the movie be?
It would be Let Her Live.
Hey everybody, my name is Lee Cage, and we are back with another episode of 15 Minutes With. Now, if you've been here before, you know that we have featured folks like Desiree Gooley from Talentless Podcast talking about talent acquisition and the way of work. Today, we have a real-life SVP of Talent who is going to be sharing a little bit about the future of work, who she is, what she believes, and how she's conquering the world. Today, we have Angela. Hey,
Hey, Lee.
how are
I'm
you?
doing excellent. Thank you
I'm so
for
glad you're here.
letting me be here.
No, I'm so glad you're here. This was a cold call, right? I've been following you for years on LinkedIn. I've seen the things that you've been up to, but these folks have no clue how cool and wonderful and awesome. So I'm hoping you could share a little bit about who is Angela.
Okay, well, that's very flattering. I'm a native Austinite, so we're in Austin. I've never left. I was born here, raised here. I am still here.
Still here.
And I think that says a lot about who I am. I believe in roots.
Okay.
I believe in legacy. I believe in family relationships. And I think I approach everything in my life like that. Even workplaces where I stay or don't stay. It really says a lot about me that I'm still here. And I made the intentional decision to stay here.
Wow. So you are a real life unicorn.
I am, which people always say that. But and I think this is true in any city, but native Austinites know other native Austinites.
Of course you do. I'm a native Nashvilleian. Fairly rare thing to happen in a very fast growing
Yeah.
city. And I'm like, but all of my friends are from Nashville.
Yeah.
We're all still here. It's just we stay where the locals stay.
Yes.
So you're an Austinite and you spent pretty much like all of your life here, I'm assuming.
Yes.
That's by that. But what about your career? Have you traveled over for your career? What does a day in the life of Angela look and feel like?
Yeah, so a lot of my career, I was specific about looking for Austin-centered organizations. So again, I
So
think
you're
just
working here,
yes,
you're living here, you're
yes,
committed.
yes, I am. So the roots. I mean, the roots. But the reason why that was so important to me is there was a time I wanted to leave Austin. I didn't think Austin embraced me and all the things that I am and that I represent,
Okay.
and I was just gonna leave. But then I decided I wasn't gonna leave. And I've said this before, but I doubled down on my city, and my city doubled down back on me. I decided I was gonna stay with my parents. They were getting older. I wanted to be close to them.
Okay.
And then all my decisions were around how do I grow myself in Austin? How do I grow a career in Austin? How do I get involved in the community? And I made decisions surrounding that.
Intentional.
Very intentional. Goal setting every year and doing all the things. Yes.
But you know the thing about goal setting is that you actually have to maintain and meet the requirements of the goal.
You do. But when you're committed and you want to see real change, you can do that.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to see real change. I wanted to grow my title. I wanted to grow my financial success.
Like new dollars.
Yes, I wanted all the dollars, all the dollars. So I wanted all the things.
All the dollars, please find me.
Me too. Me too. Don't forget me. So I think I was committed to that. And along the way, I also learned that the more you give, the more you get. So that was like a huge lesson for me in growing my career, and meeting the goals that I wanted to meet.
Wow. You've been with your current organization for quite a bit of time, which I think is interesting in and of itself, but going back to the roots and going back to like what that looks and feels like. So as you think about your career, you've spent pretty much all of your career inside of HR. Was there ever a point where you wanted to do something different?
There has not been actually. So I intentionally went into HR. I was working in a small organization and somebody left and I got an HR duty. And it was to put on some safety training. And I did it and I loved it so much. And I was like, this is what I was meant to do.
Wow.
I think obviously it has evolved, like the reasons why I stayed and all of the things I've been able to do in HR. But I think that feeling of connecting with people, seeing a light bulb for them, having them enjoy something that they wouldn't normally enjoy
Yeah.
because I was good at it, that has stayed the same.
What's one lesson that you've been in a position where you have been and had a very large sphere of influence? What's one lesson that you've learned that you think has helped to shape and make your career?
So I would say in the beginning, I thought it was about what other people gave me
Mm.
or waiting for somebody else to give me permission. And what I've learned is it's mostly about me.
Mhm.
So again, when we go back to I made these goals, I committed, I worked towards them, I made them come to life. I saw the effect of reaching these goals. It's also how I perceive people. It's also the grace that I grant to people. It's
I literally said that word earlier. I was like,
some
people need grace.
because someone
They have
can
to get it too.
they can treat you some kind of way in a moment, but that's just a moment. That doesn't speak to your whole relationship. I mean, it could,
Depending on what they say.
right, or the rest of what happens, in your interaction with that person or the history you have with that person, obviously. But I think being able to grant people grace and move on from the moment. And so that was a huge lesson for me that I actually have a lot of power in how a conversation goes, how a situation goes, how the ending to something goes, whether it's agreement or disagreement. I have a lot of power in that.
You know what's funny? The relationships are significantly underrated. And I
Yeah.
think when you spend more time with people, when you learn how they function, how they think, you know when they actually need grace.
Yes.
Is the behavior that they're exhibiting, is that because they're nervous or because they're scared or because they have something going on in like their real life? I was in it's been some time back, but had this major life event kind of occur, and I remember going to lunch with my manager. We're sitting at this table and she's across from me and I'm across from her, and she's like, I knew something was wrong because we haven't been talking as much as we needed to. I knew something was wrong. I had no clue that this thing was happening,
Mhm.
but I knew something was wrong. So then the grace that I had been provided was based off of my past behavior, but also knowing something is wrong.
Yeah.
So when you look at your team, when you look at your organization, I'm sure there are those moments where, as you know, people, especially sourcing talent, I think I think talent people are like the supply chain management of the organization. Like they're not in SCM as a function of like an ERP, but like
Yeah.
you're responsible for the success or failure.
Well, our talent title is actually what we call HR, but I have talent acquisition under my purview. And I think all of that with how we treat people, it starts with our department. We're example setting, right? We show people what the behavior should be. We have it first. Even how we hold, say, a hiring manager accountable and push back in graceful ways
Yes.
about maybe there's some unconscious bias there, or maybe there's some actions we're taking that have disproportionate impact. Like, how do we have those
Yes.
conversations with them? That even requires grace granting. My assumption is always that someone doesn't know. I'm gonna tell them, but in a nice way, right?
I suspend judgment and assume positive intent, but I'm about to tell you how this is going.
Exactly.
In the words of my grandmother, how the cow eat the cabbage.
Exactly.
I love that. So when you so when you think about, being at at the top, I mean, you're already at the top of this level. What's what's next for you? Like, what do you do? And I always ask CEOs this question. Once you've become the CEO of the company, what do you do now?
Yeah, well, I don't wanna be CEO, but, I do think that I've reached the level of success that I wanted to, and I think by anybody's definition, I'm certainly successful when it comes to how much I make, when it comes to the power I wield, and even when it comes to my brand or how I show up in my community. But I think everybody's has growth in them, right? I continue to evolve as a leader. And there's more I want to do. I want to continue to inspire and impact leaders. I want to build the new generation of leader. I want to make sure that people understand that it has to have inclusion as a part of your leadership acumen, right? I want to talk about the things that are hard for leaders. So I want to continue to do work in that area. And outside of also my current organization and being able to
Yeah.
continue to impact that in positive ways too.
Oh, I love that. And obviously, you're clearly committed to this community.
I am.
So, what would you say to a young, aspiring HR Jedi who's trying to figure out, like, do I make this decision to move into HR or do I do something else? What would you say to them?
I would say yes, give yourself the opportunity to succeed. Don't count yourself out before you even give yourself the opportunity. People change their careers a few times in their life, right? So at least try it out. And what I always tell people is that it's less about your skill set or your knowledge because you can always build that. You can always learn the knowledge of HR, but it's who you are inside
Are you a good human?
and bringing that to life.
Are you a good human? We can teach you how to do this job, but we can't teach you.
And beyond the I'm a people person, like I don't even want to hear that. That's not even what it is, right?
Correct.
But yes, it is. Are you a good person? And it's how you think about your decision making and how you impact and affect other people.
I love that. Now, Angela, you'll have to brace for impact because we're at this point where we're going to move into rapid fire.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. It's going to be the first thing that comes to mind. But here's the kicker, I am going to give you an opportunity to ask me two questions as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Texting or calling?
Texting,
Sneakers or dress shoes?
dress shoes,
Favorite type of coffee?
just regular medium blends.
So you're not like the Starbucks
No.
Macchiato, 2 scoops of
No.
Ella Bean with the heavy on the whip.
I'm at Starbucks like, can I just have regular coffee?
What is that?
Where's your cream and sugar?
Live on space or live under the sea?
On space.
Okay. Favorite holiday, Christmas or Halloween?
I didn't grow up celebrating holidays, so that's a hard one.
Really?
That's a hard one for me. I like family time, so anytime everybody's off and we just get to be together.
As a kid, I didn't grow up being able to celebrate Halloween. My grandmother called it Hallelujah night. We going to church, okay? You want candy? See how sweet Jesus came. It's very much along the lines of that. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you ask me a question or two, and then I'll ask you the final one, and we'll wrap up.
Okay, what's your next goal?
Oh, related to which sector in
It
my life?
all of it.
Um, I desire to one day have a TED talk. Like,
Okay.
it's like that would be a major like career milestone for
Mhm.
me is to one day have a TED talk.
Okay.
So Ted and those that talk, if you see me, I'm here for you. Please.
Well, I did a TEDx, and it was a
Mm.
pretty amazing experience for sure.
Oh, I know.
It changes you.
I know you did. See, I did my research. Okay, I did the Googles. Okay.
It did change me. How do you hope, or what is the impact that you hope to leave on the world or on people?
Well, one, I don't know when the time will be when my ticket gets pulled and I'm off of the face of the earth, but I would like. It was funny is you wouldn't know this, but I literally had this conversation 2 hours before we came here. And I was talking to a guy, his name's Kazra. He was on our podcast last year and it's over at BDO, which is, phenomenal accounting and transformation company. But I told him if I died tomorrow, I would want people to say that he was a good person and that he treated people well. Literally, we were sitting in a conference room and we were having this conversation. So
Because
that's
that
not,
quote, people won't remember what you said, but
they'll remember how you treated them.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly true.
Final question, Angela. If your life was a lifetime movie, because I remember watching Lifetime with my mother, what would the name of the movie be?
It would be let her live. I think that in life, there's so there's so many ways that society or other people try to stop or not include you in something,
Just let me live.
just let me live. Like, and everybody, like, let everybody just live. All the judgment, all the meanness, all the rudeness that's in the world right now. Yeah, just let people live.
I love that. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go with the quote since we talked about my mama. I'm gonna go with the quote from my mother. Your rights begin where someone else's rights end, and your rights end when theirs end. Just let them live, okay? Just let them live. There we go. See y'all.
Bye.
Awesome. You did great.
Thank you.